Hey guys, it's Kay from Chaos Anonymous, and I am back today with another episode of r/AmITheA or r/Aita. Aita for not wanting to get rid of the anime body pillow that saved my marriage. Throwaway account for obvious reasons. My husband and I are best friends during the day. Love of my life. It's at night that's an issue. I'm a blanket stealer. I once yanked them so hard, poor hubby flipped a full 180. Hubby, for his part, is a thrasher. Bruce Lee would be jealous of the moves he pulls off while unconscious. It's a constant war between us when we fall asleep, and both of us often wake up sore and exhausted. It was starting to affect our relationship. Neither of us wanted to move to a separate bed because we liked spending our nights together, but it seemed like an inevitability. We were both crabby every morning, and we started fighting as soon as we got up. It sucked, but neither of us wanted to concede defeat and move to the other bed. Quick background, I was a huge nerd as a teenager. Full-on otaku. Go ahead, cringe. I do too. One night, as a joke, I brought down an old anime body pillow from the attic. I know, the cringe. And plopped it down between my husband and I, declaring it our demilitarized zone. Hubby also thought it was hilarious, and we named her DMZ-chan. She stayed there the whole night. It was a game changer. DMZ-chan protected me from hubby's REM-induced rampages, and she's just heavy enough that I can't yank the blankets at full speed. DMZ-chan is now a beloved part of our nightly routine. We both thought it was the funniest thing, but she legitimately helped us solve the only real issue in our marriage. One day, mother-in-law stopped by to pick something up. She got up to use the restroom, passing by our open bedroom door. You can guess what she saw. DMZ-chan, propped up in the middle of our bed, her giant soulful anime eyes looking right back at mother-in-law. When she got back, she quickly grabbed her stuff and left, hubby and I both confused. She later mentioned DMZ-chan to hubby while they were on the phone, and it absolutely mortified him. As far as I know, mother-in-law now thinks we're deviants in a three-way relationship with a body pillow. Hubby was too embarrassed to explain, and now he wants to put DMZ-chan back in the attic. I was upset. I told him I didn't want to go back to boxing each other at night, and that DMZ-chan helped us so much in that. He agreed, but suggested we get a normal, plain body pillowcase to replace her. I felt like there was no need to spend money on something we already have, and if it really was that big of an issue, we can put her in the closet while we have company over. Hubby is firm in that she has to go permanently. I know he's embarrassed, but I feel we shouldn't have to compromise our inside jokes to appease other people. Aita? Sweet bees, this blew up. Was not expecting all the attention. Just wanted to say thank you to everyone for chiming in. I admit I was being stubborn. I drove over to Target on my lunch break and bought a new cover for $10. I put it on DMZ-chan as soon as I got home. To those asking, I did wash her after fishing her out of the attic, and am now waiting on hubby to get home so I can apologize for making him uncomfortable. DMZ-chan shall live in our hearts and under the blanket when company's over. Who knew that teenage otaku you would manage to save future you's marriage with a body pillow? An anime body pillow. That is fantastic. That is just freaking hilarious. Yeah, I feel like that would have been really awkward to try to explain to the mother-in-law, but at the same time that she like huffed and grabbed her things and basically ran away. Why wouldn't you just say something like, I saw something that I can't unsee? You know what I mean? If you're gonna say something at all anyway in a phone call, say something there so we can clear up the confusion. I hate it when people do stuff like that. Either way, I think it's a great compromise, and hopefully you all will continue to sleep peacefully and blissfully together in the same bed with the hidden DMZ-chan. Aita for calling my wife lazy and a terrible mother. This is my first time posting, so excuse me for any mistakes I make. I'm a 57-year-old male, and my wife is 51-year-old female. We've been married for 28 years and have one son together that is 25. She's a stay-at-home wife. She never worked a day after we got married since I inherited a company that had been in my family for many generations, so money was never a problem, and we lived more than comfortably. When our son was little, she took care of him and the house. Now that he's an adult, the chores are the only thing that she does. She used to take on writing, but gave up because she said that it's not as easy as she thought. Now, I don't consider myself sexist or that women belonged in the house with kids. This was her choice because she never liked to work. The problem is I work long hours and expect to at least have a dinner after the long day. We have a housekeeper that comes over twice a week, so her responsibilities are basically cooking and smaller chores. She stopped cooking and doing things lately because she doesn't feel like doing it. She spends her days hanging with her friends and shopping. Also, our son was born as a female, and my wife always wanted a daughter. When he came out as trans, she threw a fit and was unsupportive. I paid for his surgery and he transitioned. She was never as caring toward him as before, and uses wrong pronouns and his old name all the time. The other day I came home and she didn't do anything the whole day, and I snapped. I told her that I'm sick of her not doing anything while I'm providing for our family. My son is also still in college and I pay for all of his expenses and apartment because I want him to focus on school. The argument went on and she decided to throw in my face how it's my fault she lost her daughter. This really shocked me, and I told her that she's lazy and also a terrible mother for talking as if her child is dead when we have a perfect and healthy son. I am at a loss. Half of family members are siding with her, half with me, including our son. She called me an a-hole and went to stay with her sister. Was I the a-hole? I'm seriously considering divorce. Edit. Thank you for everyone commenting. I just wanted to clear up that my son has been out since he was 14 and had his surgery 5 years ago. Another edit. Few of you questioned my son siding with his mom. I don't know how you got that, but my son is definitely on my side, even though he doesn't know the full story. I can see that you have frustrations with stuff, but I really feel like maybe more of your issue is with the second part. And maybe more of her issue with you is also with the second part. And to me, I think y'all, at least her, probably both y'all, need to go to counseling in some respect. And I say that because it sounds like y'all didn't really deal with it, or at least he dealt with it, and that was fine, but she didn't deal with it. And I think that's probably what the major problem here is. I mean, y'all just had an argument, I don't know. Aita for refusing to buy a coworker lunch. I, 23 male, have a coworker, 25 male, who is a mooch. If you get something for lunch, he wants you to get him something too, but expects you to buy it for him because since you mentioned it, he says you offered. At first I thought maybe he had money problems, but then I overheard him laughing and bragging to someone in another department about how he was able to scam lunches out of his coworkers. And he's attempted to bully a free meal out of someone more than once. His general entitled attitude is one of the many reasons I don't like him. So yesterday my girlfriend and I had lunch together. He overheard me confirming before I left and asked what I was bringing him, and I said nothing. He said I brought it up, and I corrected him. No, I was confirming we were still good and he was eavesdropping on my conversation. He started complaining, so I said if he gave me money for his food, I'd bring him something, but I wasn't going to buy him food. He started complaining about it again and I got irritated and said, no money, no food, and then I left. When I got back, my boss said my coworker complained I was being hostile. I told him what happened and how he's constantly trying to weasel free food out of people, even some of the people he knows are struggling. So my boss asked around and several others collaborated what I said. My coworker got dragged into the office and now he's ticked that I narked and how he was just kidding. Most of the office thinks he got what he deserved, but a few think it wasn't worth getting him in trouble over. Today, no one he asked told him what they were doing for lunch, and he's whining that we're alienating him. I said he alienated himself because of his behavior. He says I'm an a-hole, but I don't really feel bad that a mooch who thinks it's funny to scam his coworkers thinks I'm an a-hole. My little brother is on here a lot and suggested I post though, so Aita? Yeah, no, I don't think you're an a-hole, and I feel like your coworker's an a-hole, and usually when a-holes get called out, they get mad and think everyone's just so mean, even though they were literally laughing about how they manipulated other people for their own benefit. I don't like people a lot of the times because of these kinds of things, and I don't like that person very much. Aita for moving out because my girlfriend moved her mom in. A few months ago, I was near the end of my lease, and instead of renewing it, my girlfriend asked me to move in with her. Our relationship was at that level, and she needed help with rent since her hours were cut, and she had been dipping into her savings to get around, so it just made sense. I ended up paying 60% of all shared costs. We were gonna go 50-50, but since her hours were cut and I already made more than her before that happened, so I figured it would allow her to replenish her savings. It was pretty great for a few months until she, out of the blue, told me her mom was gonna come live with us as she had lost her job and house. I told her I was not comfortable with that and asked if there were alternatives. She said that she could live with her grandma, her mom's mom, but that her mom felt it was humiliating, so that was a no-go. I still told her I was not okay with this. Apparently, living with your adult daughter and her boyfriend is less humiliating. Now it is worth noting that her mom is, well, weird. She's very obsessive, entitled, high maintenance, puts her nose where it doesn't belong, and is a very dominant, do-it-my-way type of person. She once had a meltdown because my girlfriend baked a cake for her nephew's birthday, and so did her mom. She did not know about this, but my girlfriend's cake was better, and cue meltdown. I got dozens of stories like this. My protests were ignored, and 4 weeks ago her mom moved into the guest room. Day 1 was already a crap show. I was going on a grocery run and noticed my grocery list had a ton of extra crap on it. When I asked her mom, she said she added it. So I asked her for money and she said she had none, and my girlfriend acted like I was a jerk for asking. It turned into an argument with my girlfriend where she said it's her name on the lease, so her choice who lives there. Long story short, I noticed in the store all of the stuff she added was brand stuff and cost way more, and when I got to the cash register, I had to pay $220, where I usually spend like $90 at most for the two of us. I put it on my girlfriend's card, cause F it, I ain't paying for that. When I got home, I called a buddy, asked him if I could crash at his place for a few weeks at most, while I looked for a new apartment. He asked his girlfriend and they called me back later, giving me the okay, and I moved out the next day. I am moving into a new place in a week. Obviously, we were barely on speaking terms when I left. Now that we started talking again, she's been adamant I am in the wrong, and the only reason I did what I did was because it was her mom and not someone else. Had it been her dad, I would have been fine with it, and I can't deny that, lol. Her dad is great. Am I the a-hole here? I don't know. I don't necessarily think so. I get the daughter wants to have her mom come with her because, like, that's her mom and she doesn't want her to feel awful, blah, blah, blah. But also, you guys are going in on it, even if you were 50-50 and you're claiming it's actually 60-40 with you at the 60, even at 50-50, you would have a 50-50 say in what goes on in that house, ideally. So the having a whole new person move in is kind of an issue that you guys need to talk about. And for her to just be like, well, my name's on lease, so too bad. Well, then cool. I guess I don't live here and you can pay the rest of the amount. Like, that's how I would be. So I guess you're probably not an a-hole. And who cares? Like, saying like, well, if it was so-and-so, well, yeah, because they're a different person. Maybe if it was that person, we would have worked it out. But clearly this living arrangement with this particular person is a no-go. So I don't really get the point there. Like, I don't know what she thinks she's trying to say there. I don't know. Maybe she needs to reflect for a minute on her own words. Like, there's a reason specifically because of it's her mom, not because it's someone she cares about, because clearly her dad would have been okay. Like, you know, it's whatever. I don't know. I don't think you're an a-hole. I think your girlfriend is unfortunately still under the thumb of her mother, who, as you said, for some reason is more embarrassed to live with her own mother than living with her daughter and her daughter's boyfriend, which I feel like that's worse too. I don't know. Also, I apologize if I'm being a little snarky or in a mood, because I'm in a mood. I'll try to simmer down. Anyway, that is going to wrap it up for today's video. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and drop a like and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Really quickly, I'd like to thank my patrons. Up on the screen, you should see my face palmers and my crazy K's. Thank you all so much for supporting me in that way. If you're interested in becoming a patron, checking out the original posts from today's video, or sending me an email for possible inclusion in a future video, all of that information is in the description box, so be sure to check it out. And I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye!